Alright, getting into the video. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we got a Cincinnati Bengals preseason preview here for the all you Bengals fans out there.
Bungles.
Super Bowl runner-ups. Did good last year, but we're going to get into all of that and what's going to happen for this next season. But before that, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime that we upload one of these videos. Let's go.
I lost gang members, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back fool. Come from nothing, but I blossomed to a tycoon. Betrayal scars, can't stop thinking about them stab wounds. We might not catch him today, but he gon' die soon.
Starting off with last season, the Bengals went 10-7. They were tied 7th in points scored with 460. And they were 17th in points allowed with 376. And all these stats are provided to you by PFF. So if you like PFF, good for you. If you don't, suck it up, get over it. It is what it is. This is what we got, and this is what we're rolling with. They were the 7th overall team. They had an 8th overall defense, the 16th overall defense, and the 5th overall special teams.
8th overall defense and 16th overall defense. Let's go.
Sorry, 8th overall offense. My bad.
Just can't let you get it. Just can't let you buy.
I can't get a win. I can't buy a win.
Neither could the Bengals in the Super Bowl when they couldn't block Aaron Donald for half a second longer while Jamar Chase was running down open the field.
Ayo.
Hey, still more playoff wins than the Browns have had in the last 50 years.
I don't know. The Browns have never lost a Super Bowl, so.
Never been to one.
Listen. Same percentage as the Bengals still in the Super Bowl. Okay.
No, because you haven't been to one.
It's undecided.
All right, well, enough about the Browns' miseries. Let's get into some players that are being shipped out of there, that have already been shipped out of there. Starting off with CJ, who's your mama, tight end, hitting up the Jets now as his new teams, banging it out with Zach Wilson up there.
What's that, Dylan?
Doing his thing.
Banging moms, throwing bombs,
Boom, boom,
in that
boom.
order.
Doing his thing up there. Got a 3-year, $24 million contract. Larry Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi Kenobi.
He is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bengals fans, I can resonate with you with that. That's disgusting. We can both shake hands on that. So sad to see him go there.
Terrible. Auden Tate, wide receiver, is now with the Falcons. Got a 1-year deal worth $1.1 million. Wyatt Ray, defensive lineman, now with the Jaguars. Got a 1-year deal worth $865K. Bringing in the dough. Trey Hopkins, center, free agent now, hasn't re-signed or got signed or picked up. Quentin Spain, guard, he is also a free agent still, has not been picked up. And Trey Wayne's corner, thank God he's gone. At least that's what our notes say.
It's quite interesting that the 2 offensive linemen that you guys let go were your starters, and yet no team in the NFL even wants them.
No.
Was your guys' line that bad?
Yes.
No.
Just complaining. Gosh, it wasn't even that bad. You guys had 2 practice squad players starting. It's not even that bad. Which, leads us into the re-signings, I guess, before Dylan gets into what they picked up. Real quick, B.J. Hill was a defensive lineman, the interior defensive lineman that they signed instead of Larry Ogunjobi. Unfortunately, Larry got hurt in the playoff, or right before the playoffs, one or the other. I think it was last week before the playoffs. So they had a really good defensive tackle room, and one of them was always going to be the one getting pushed out. Eli Apple, the best cornerback in the league, re-signed for another year. Good job, guys. Have him cover Cooper Kupp. It works every time. Trey Flowers also re-signed, and then Thad Moss was also re-signed. And then getting into their free agency additions, Dylan, what did the Bengals do to improve?
They didn't make too many moves, but they made the important moves. So they added La'el Collins from the Cowboys. I think he had some injury things that made the Cowboys not want to keep him around. But if he's healthy, he's a great addition for their offensive line. Along that same trend, they added Alex Kappa from the Buccaneers,
Kiapo.
and they added Ted Karras from the Patriots. Um, so that's three offensive line starters right there. And then they make some other moves, but it shows you that that was the biggest weakness of a Super Bowl caliber team. On paper, it looks good, but just as we know with football, you need those five players to mesh. So that's the real thing to focus on is if they mesh and if they can keep up with everything else in the division. They also added Hayden Hurst, a tight end out of the Falcons. I think he was a former first round pick, the
Yeah.
Ravens. But he's kind of bounced around, kind of a Uzama replacement in a way. But they're going to spread that ball around a lot. I think Hurst is going to get some targets, but he's not going to be anyone center.
I liked it because he's not gonna like attract a ton of attention, right? Because you guys have amazing weapons in that offense already.
Yeah.
But he's like super athletic as a tight end. So you leave him open once or twice, I'm guarantee you Joe Burrow's gonna find him and he's gonna blow up. So I thought it was a really good job on their part. Losing who's your mama, but then picking up a good athlete that you needed for really cheap. I thought that was I thought they did a really good job.
Oh yeah. Who did they draft though?
Nothing major. I mean, they did have the 31st pick because they were the Super Bowl runner up, and they picked one of our draft sweethearts, Daxon Hill, the safety out of Michigan. Really surprised that he went in the first round, but talent wise, totally deserves it. It looks like that Jesse Bates situation is coming down to Daxon Hill, looking like they might let him go. He hasn't been re-signed. He is playing on the tag this year officially now, I believe. I think the tag window is closed. Then in the second round, or their second pick, they picked up Dylan and Michael's sweetheart right here, Cam Taylor-Britt, corner from Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Beast.
Then they picked up Zachary Carter, D tackle from Florida, Cordell Volson, offensive lineman from North Dakota State, Tyson Anderson, safety from Toledo, and Jeffrey Gunter, defensive end from Coastal Carolina. So, nothing that you're going to think are going to make a huge impact now, but in the draft, that's kind of what you want, especially when you have a Super Bowl team. Just adding pieces for the future and helping, like that, you don't need guys that come in and make a huge impact right away.
Yeah.
They did that already with their offensive line, which Dylan was hitting on it, and it looks a lot better. Jonah Williams was like their only legitimate good lineman last year, their first overall pick from a few years back from Bama. He's not that elite left tackle that everyone thought he was going to end up being. He has been hurt a few times, but he has been consistent and dependable for the most part, barring his injuries. Him and then Jackson Carman are the only two returning linemen that you would hope are starting from that group. So I'm excited to see what's going to go down. Really, not a huge change overall in the offseason apart from that offensive line, and everyone kind of knew that was going down. Now it just kind of comes down to, do you guys think the Bengals can make it back? Do you think Burrow can bring them back there?
They're not the best team in the AFC. I think the other teams are going to have a better chance just because they have more firepower across the board. But to give the credit to Cincinnati, they played great team defense. They had a great kicker with McPherson. He's not leaving, so he's still got him going to make some clutch kicks. But I think when it comes down to it, they're going to be in the playoffs. I think that's going to be pretty much foreseen unless Burrow's injured. And then, they've been there before. They can kind of shake things up. But I think this just rounds out their team a little bit better. And I think it prepares them to be contenders for years and not just a one-time team. But I don't think they're going to have as good of a record as they had last year. It's just such a tough division, and the AFC just got even tougher. So I just don't see them having a better record.
Yeah, kind of. I'm in the same position as kind of like what Dylan was saying. I think they do have a chance to make it back there. They did get better on offense. That offense is pretty much set up for success. It's just depending on if that defense can keep up and hang with the star-studded offenses that the AFC have, and if they can still compete on that same level that they kind of were last year when they were playing like the Kansas City Chiefs and Ravens and those kind of teams, keeping up with those types of players that they have on those teams. So it'll be interesting to see if that defense can keep it up. I think they have the potential to. Will they make it back to the Super Bowl? That's to be determined, obviously. But I think they can make the playoffs, for sure. Whether it's either winning the division or getting one of those wild card spots. So.
And what's great about the NFL and why it's probably the biggest growing sport and just blowing out the NBA is because, the NBA, you have the first round of the playoffs and you don't really need to watch until the conference finals because you kind of already can know who's going to make it there, and it's probably 85% of the time going to happen. In the NFL, I mean, you literally have no idea. If you make it in as a 7th seed, you got a great chance. And there was like a time where if you made it in the 6th seed, they had if the 6th seed made it to the Super Bowl, they have like a 90% win rate or something like that. It's some crazy stuff like that. So it's super exciting. With the Bengals, I mean, Joe Burrow is incredible, obviously, right? Everyone knows that, and that's what you need. If you have a quarterback like that, you're going to be in the playoffs every year. You're going to give yourself that chance to do so. And it looks like they went out of their way to make sure they didn't have another Seahawks situation where you have this great quarterback, but you just cannot protect him, and he's got to run for his life forever, and it just kind of really sets your team back a ton. And then along with that is the coaching. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, now that he's gone, there's a lot more things coming out, and you're learning a lot more about it. And the miscommunication between the two with what they wanted. And that kind of brings me to my point with the Bengals. Zach Taylor, he was on the hot seat. If he had another losing season, which it looked like the Bengals were going to be having for the first part of the season before they just clicked at the very, towards the middle of the end of the season and then just blew up. And they started winning games. But it looked like, Zach Taylor could have been losing his job. So is he going to be able to continue that same run with the team? Or was that, a 1-year thing? I guess that is going to be here to say. I was never a huge Zach Taylor fan. I don't really hate the Bengals by any means. As a Browns fan, I know you're not supposed to like them, but I grew up just despising the Steelers and the Ravens, and the Bengals were just the other brother that were there. So I don't really have any disdain for them. I'm curious to see what they can do with Zach Taylor. I'm wondering, because that's going to be a question, because if they have a mediocre year, does Zach Taylor keep his job? Right, because now you have no excuse. That team is loaded. It's a great team. Arguably, one of the top teams in the AFC. But regarding their record, I think it's going to stay about the same. I think 10 wins to, if they really, really catch fire, to 12 wins. 9 to 12 is where I see them out. And anything less than 9, somebody's losing their job somewhere.
Yeah.
We shall see. I'm excited, from a fan of the NFL, just all these new young quarterbacks, all these quarterbacks that are really good. It's no longer you have to have these 3 elite guys, and it's going to be Peyton, Tom, and Ben every single year. It's going to be one of those guys that are going to make it out of the AFC. Now you've got so many quarterbacks. It's going to be awesome to see who can get through. But if I was a Bengals fan, I'd be pretty happy for this offseason. I don't think anything happened that you could not be too happy about.
Different.
But if you guys have made it to the end of this video, we do greatly appreciate it. We did hit 100 subscribers, so thank you guys. It flew up quick. We do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, we do ask you, make sure you guys hit that like button. Click the subscribe button for us. Maybe turn that notification bell on so you guys are notified when we make more videos. Other than that, we do have all the other AFC North teams videos up. Go ahead and check them out. and catch us from other videos later. Deuces.
Peace out.